Hey guys, my name is Javier Aguilar and this is my skate shop B52 and let's check it out. The person that taught me how to skate, he's my same age. I started freshman year. That's when I started actually wanting to learn. He already skated. He first showed me the little tech decks, and then later on he told me like, oh, you should try the bigger boards, like the professional ones, and I was like, all right, like I'll give that a try. It was a Walmart board. My first one was the Spider-Man and Green Goblin fighting, which I wish I would have kept. But I know I was very excited to have one, and I used it for maybe a while, not too long, and then that's when I decided I needed a better board. Back then there was no YouTube tutorials. That was inspired a lot by the skaters here in Laredo. They were super good and I wanted to be like them. So I ended up getting inspired by them, and then seeing professionals in person just blew my mind. It was completely different but amazing to watch. If I wasn't injured, I'd be skating still probably every day. But after that, I was like, I'll be back hopefully in a few months. But 5 years later, I'm still like, I probably need surgery to get back to it. But it was either get surgery or start a skate shop. And yeah.
So I know that, like, when you're first skating, most of the time we walk into a store and we have no idea where to start unless we're lucky enough to have like a mentor or someone to rely on to kind of help guide us. Mm-hmm. Let's say I came in and I wanted a new deck. How would I start? What would be the first step?
Most places don't tell you, like they'll just be like, oh, pick whatever you want. But for me, I always ask you what's your shoe size, and then from there I usually know what board size like you need, because you always want your shoe to be able to hang over a bit on both sides of the boards. You don't want the board to be the exact measurement of your foot or bigger, because then it'll just be harder to flip the board. And like I'm size 11 in shoe, so I use 8.3 boards. But people usually go with like 8.25s or 8.5s nowadays. Those are the two popular sizes. You would first start off with the board size, and then from there we would get the grip. And the grip always usually comes in different colors, or usually people go with regular black, which always looks the best, the most original. From there you would choose the trucks. If you use risers, it'll just make the board a bit higher. The riser would go right in the middle, so it would give you a bit more pop basically for the board. I don't use those personally, but they're still pretty good for skaters. And then from there would be the trucks, the bearings, and then the wheels. The truck size would matter, because you don't want the trucks being too small or too wide for the board. You want them to fit just perfectly on there. And usually corporations, skate shops won't, like they'll just sell you whichever ones they have. They usually sell you the normal ones that are like for size 8 boards, which for this board, like 8.25, it would be too small. Skate shops run by skaters will let you know exactly what sizes you need for each size of deck or size of wheels as well. The B52, my friend Mario came up with it. We were just pitching ideas. There was quite a few that came along, and then he told me, just give me a day or two and I'll come up with a name. Came back the next day and he was like, B52. And I was like, okay, why? He was like, that's the airplanes that they used in World War I and II. They would throw the biggest bombs. And it was also a good one because the local skate shops had gotten run out of town basically. Well, not run out of town, but closed because Zoomies came by. Since they're a big corporation, they were able to take them off the map. And then with us, it was basically like we're coming back for war to not to defeat them, but to stand a chance for the local skaters to be able to feel like at home at this skate shop.
What would you say is like, I'm sure like part of owning a small business has its trials and tribulations, your successes, your peaks and your valleys,
Yeah.
What's something that you would say you're grateful for?
Learning something new every day. That was always a challenging part for me. But also, I stopped playing sports, but it was fun, but I didn't find the joy as much as in skateboarding. It was just traveling places, meeting a lot more people, and basically, if you would go to a new skate park that you don't know anyone, it would be really easy to make friends just by skateboarding. Sometimes it takes a while for people to learn how to skate. It took me 6 months to even learn how to just jump on a skateboard. But after that, you just keep trying your best, and eventually you'll start getting better and better. And even if you feel like you can't learn anymore, it also helps taking a break for a day or two and then coming back at it, and you'll feel refreshed and ready to start learning more tricks and all that. When I got my first professional board, I remember I told the manager that I wanted a skate shop later on in the future because it was just so cool the way they had a bunch of kids in there and like everyone getting their first boards. After that, I just kept skating, and then this one time that I had the chance to open one, I just tried it, and it's working out so far.